And we are live. My name is Outlaw. I'm your host of RNN Live. Sorry for the late wait there for a few minutes because we had to discuss a few things before we got started here. Anyways, why don't we have our guests introduce themselves, starting from the bottom?
Hello, my name is Neko Boy. I'm a music producer and content creator.
Hello, I'm 18 Putza, make low-effort meme videos.
I'm the usual native of this group, and I'm currently suffering computer issues because a game won't close.
Alright, so in today's video, we're just doing, one, depending, we might do a second video if everyone wants to, but after these two max videos that we do, we're going to be playing games mostly today, so just for fun, to change things up a little bit. Anyways, why don't we get started? The first video is titled, PragerU Unironically Defends Slavery. Now, if you've read my article, if anyone who's watching this right now, you will know that that is not what they did at all. Anyways, let's get started.
Alright, so PragerU did this video where they essentially defended Robert E. Lee, the Confederate soldier who fought in favor of slavery. So that's going to be kind of interesting.
Who was Robert E. Lee?
Robert E. Lee was a piece of shit. I can answer that question for you right now.
It was like pretty much everyone else during that time. So basically you're calling also the North a piece of shit.
Well, the interesting fact about Robert E. Lee, he almost did join the Union.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, which it was a great debate to him. Essentially, he realized the importance and the integrity of the Union, but he felt more of a duty towards his state, and
Yeah.
at the end he chose to defend his state rather than keeping the Union together.
Yeah. Well, what he was is he was against secession, but he decided to side with his state because he had more loyalty to it. So he would have rather not had his state secede. And I think if his state didn't secede, I believe most definitely he would have joined the Union.
Well,
Now,
I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta remember, in this scenario, Robert E. Lee is akin to Admiral Yamamoto from the Japanese. Because before World War II, he was accused of being an American sympathizer because he really didn't want Japan to go to war with the United States. And when he realized that there was nothing more he could do, and there was an official plan to attack Pearl Harbor, he actually took up the job and wrote up the plan to attack Pearl Harbor, because he knew that if we're going to war, I might as well at least ensure that my country has a chance at winning.
exactly. Anyways, let's continue.
Okay.
Statues of great historical figures.
First thing I noticed here, and I'm not trying to be too nitpicky, okay, but great historical figures. Robert E. Lee was not a great historical figure.
He's one of the
he was
most
a
fucking
traitor to his
important people.
country.
Well, listen, regardless of what the I don't love the guy, but he is an important historical figure. He was literally the guy who kept the South from not collapsing instantly. You know, we wouldn't have a civil war if it wasn't for the guy. Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember of other historical figures that we have, like over here in Europe, that may be considered controversial aside from people like Churchill. I know that the French version of Antifa still goes after a Charles de Gaulle statue in Normandy. And I think on D-Day's anniversary last year, the 75th, well, technically the year before last year, because it was 2019, not 2020, for the 75th anniversary of D-Day, Antifa decided to riot in the area, also attacked one World War II vet at the same time, and also spray painted a Nazi on Charles de Gaulle's statue. And I know that Charles de Gaulle was an asshole because he's French, and he was an asshole. Like, you can't get beyond the stereotypical French asshole than Charles de Gaulle. It's like, oh, you are literally allowing me to house my army your country, and you're also providing us with free housing and free weapons and so on, I'm still going to be an asshole to y'all because I'm French. He was the living stereotype, but still, to call him a Nazi is retarded, to say the least.
Well, I think the other point you would have to bring up with Robert E. Lee was he was a very good general for that time. He was one of the best generals we had at that time.
Even now, he would be a pretty good general. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, but his tactics probably would be a little outdated by now. I'm pretty sure. But maybe who
I mean,
knows?
he
Maybe if
probably
he was,
learned pretty quickly.
yeah, maybe if he did was able to catch up on everything a bit, maybe he could still be a very good general. But yeah, he was a good general for, during his time and everything, and that was another reason why he was important. There's also, as the PragerU brought up, he did have close significance to the founding fathers with George Washington. His father was, I guess, close friends, I think they were said, with George Washington, if I recall, in their original video, or they were lived close by them and stuff.
I'm not too sure. I mean, you gotta remember, the big thing was Gettysburg. Robert E. Lee versus, what's his name? Stonewall Jackson?
What about Stonewall?
No, versus. The big clash of the two generals at Gettysburg.
Hmm.
The place that would ultimately decide the U.S. Civil War.
Yes, which
Anyways.
we wouldn't have been completely caught off guard if some guy didn't take a piss and accidentally dropped the battle plans.
Mhm.
Which
Yeah,
was
and
so-
And also if Robert E. Lee didn't fluster because he gave one order which really was detriment. Anyways, that's not important. I'm still trying to think of any bad figure statues that we have over here in Europe, except in the really poor areas of Eastern Europe where there's bound to be a statue of Lenin or not really Stalin. That's all been removed.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that I can think of is the huge Lenin bronze statue that the birthplace, not Lenin, Karl Marx statue that we received from China, that the birthplace of Karl Marx was forced to receive by the EU. Oh yeah, and then there's that one German city, I forgot which one it is, a small city, where Antifa erected a statue of Lenin over there.
Mm.
Yes, of course they did. But aside from that, I can't really think of any really bad historical figure. The only other one that I can think of was someone that actually Demon recently brought up. There's a huge bronze statue of this one guy. I forgot where in the United States. He's a Democrat. The Democrats still support him. He's been dead for a long time. For all 52 years of his political career, he was also a Klansman.
Hmm.
Anyways.
Anyways, let's go on with video.
He didn't represent true American ideals, and even though he signed agreements to fight for America, he decided to abandon that to instead fight for his native state. So I don't see how he's a great historical figure.
If I'm not mistaken,
Historical
wouldn't
figure.
fighting
What?
for your native state be very American?
Well, originally, I think we lost the sort of idea for our state, the love for the state, and we've gone more towards national love rather than state love. I think that is one of the.
Okay.
faults
Before you
of-
continue, we'll have to ask the other people in the group because you gotta remember, your state is California. There's a lot to be proud of in the
Well,
past.
excluding Texas.
Presently,
Excluding Texas, I think most people in their states don't have an extreme love for their state in the sense of state
Wow.
pride.
Well, sort of.
Well, that's because it's kind of faded since
Unless
Since
you
the
live in
Civil War.
Ohio.
first started.
After the Civil War, that kind of started to fade. Because I think.
yeah, but I
that-
don't think it's exactly dead. I mean,
I never said it was dead. I'm just saying that I think it's significantly less than what it used to be.
or we could more precisely say it in the method of it's not exactly faded, it's still there, it's just not really so outwardly because
Perhaps.
it doesn't really benefit anyone.
Well, I think it would benefit because I would rather people want to leave their state, just their state, and not give a shit about the other states, so that way we
Yeah, I'm
don't have
pretty
to
sure
focus on.
Nevada. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nevada doesn't want to be a nuclear test site.
Yeah, Like what I want to do is
But they
each
haven't been a
state to
nuclear
handle.
test site for the longest time. You gotta remember, the current nuclear test site is Alaska.
Well, anyways, what I would like to see is for each state to want to be treated as they have been in the past and still somewhat are as their own country, to be virtually pretty much independent and have their own laws and systems in place and leave the national stuffs that have to be national to the federal government, but leave everything else to the states. Each state to decide what they want. If one state wants to have a universal healthcare system, fine. The other states shouldn't be forced to go into it. That's my whole
Yes,
thing.
but then you got Obamacare.
Yes, that god awful system. Anyways, let's continue.
Like Robert E. Lee. are
Wait a
being
second,
torn
New
down
Jersey
across-
has its own history.
Oh yeah, some states have their own history classes. Although I don't
No,
think
what
it's
I
very
what I
many.
mean is, I thought New Jersey is just that state you go to die.
Anyways, that is one thing I wish California had. I wish we had our own state history class. But sadly we don't.
America.
Good. Why don't wait? Confederate statues built. Look, 3-second Google search, guys. It doesn't take a lot to have a brain. The
Hold
built.
on.
Look,
Let
3
me see
seconds.
what he said.
Historical figures like Robert E. Lee are being torn down across
Good.
America.
Good. Why don't wait? Confederate statues built. Look, 3-second Google search, guys. It doesn't take a lot to have a brain. The Dallas Southern Memorial Association erected the statue to reassert the ideals Lee represented to the lost cause: white Southern pride, honor, gentlemanliness, strength, and supremacy. These statues.
Well, some of the statues, yes, and some of them, no. The very older ones, right after the Civil War, they weren't so much that, but the ones erected in, like, I think it was the 50s and 60s, around the Jim Crow time, or after Jim Crow. If I recall, those could be considered white Southern pride.
You have to understand, especially at the time of the South, it was severely racist.
It was.
A matter of fact, racial identitarianism played a massive part in the Southern identity. Like, for instance, one of the solutions of essentially dealing with the new freed blacks was to have their own state, which most Southern politicians denounced because they thought that the blacks would literally turn around and kill them all. And part of the reason that, to understand the psyche of a lot of people in the South, when they lost their slaves, they lost in their mind the feeling of being white, as a lot of them wrote down in their memoir. The social hierarchy that built a lot of Southern identity wasn't there. A matter of, if you know a lot about the Boers and everything else, there is a heavy emphasis of white supremacy because a lot of their economy also was based around it.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't die off in a day.
I'm not saying it didn't. I was mostly talking about the fact there's two different sets of statues that were built at two different times. One was like right after the Civil War, which those statues were not built so much for Southern pride, so much as they wanted to, in some sense, rebel against the rest of the Union because they felt they were cheated. Not so much Southern pride, so much as they felt they were cheated. I believe that the reasons were the statues that a lot of them, yes, there were quite a few, and those would be the much younger statues which were built in like the 60s and 50s, which were more towards the Southern pride idea and racial identitarianism.
Yeah, well, either way, I don't mind too much. Well, the statues, when they tear down the founding fathers and stuff like that, that's when I get really offended, especially of things like I think it was Ted, or not Franklin, but Teddy Roosevelt. They also, I think, removed his statue from, what was it, the Smithsonian? Things like that. But a lot of these statues where they are placed.
Oh, you mean the Museum of Natural History, was it? Where they removed his statue?
Yes. But a lot of these places where these statues are getting moved down, they are a far leftist population, and a lot of the populations are there is a large black population there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind if they would be moved, but a lot of these people get destroyed, and I don't think it's too difficult with our 21st century technology and everything to move these statues someplace else.
Literally, it's not that hard because most of them are literally not even bolted down. They're just kind of screwed in.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that might be most of the younger ones. I think the younger ones are
No,
much more
even
cheap.
the older ones are even like that because it's the most easiest method. The only ones that would be really difficult is such as like the concrete or marble ones. Those, the really expensive kind, would be kind of difficult, but the brass ones that we're talking about are super easy to move. There is no real problem with it.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, that's like my personal opinions of the statue, because there's two different kinds. That you can't just associate them all with the white supremacy, because that was not the intent of all of them. There is a large number, yes, and those ones, yeah, they're kind of cheap anyways. They really have no historical significance, no, good historical significance, other than the fact they were built just to sort of tyrannize the black populations within those states.
Yeah. Well, like the thing is, there is a lot of Southern revisionism, and they do try to essentially erase or alter and change the past.
Yes.
But the thing is, a lot of revisionism isn't. It used to be like back in the '60s, in the '50s, they used to argue that white supremacy was a good thing for them. They had it much better off, which has died down. But it's on. You have to understand, these people want some kind of identity and don't want this revolution of theirs to be forgotten, the Civil War to be forgotten. And so a lot of Southern revisionism isn't inherently racist. Like a lot of films in the 60s and 70s, well, not in the 60s, but like 70s, 80s, 90s, like Duke Nukem and other stuff. Well, not Duke Nukem, Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes,
stuff like that.
I was about to say you're a little bit off by 20 years.
Yeah, yeah, but it isn't inherently racist, and a lot of Southern culture nowadays, especially when it regards to the past of the Civil War, they aren't promoting racism; they're promoting states' rights.
Mm-hmm.
But it is an honest discussion to have to acknowledge their mindset at the time. Which it's complicated, and it's something that Hunter Avalon isn't going to touch upon because Jesus Christ.
Because it's Hunter Avalon.
Because he is not a complicated mind.
I will say this: Vosh plus name another leftist person who's shit that I may have heard of.
Majority report.
Destiny.
Destiny. Let's take Destiny. Vosh plus Destiny is more honest than Hunter Avalon.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there is nuance to a lot of the stuff and everything. Let's continue.
Statues were put up as a fuck you to America from the South to say that they still wanted to cling to their white supremacist bullshit ideas. So yeah, statues getting torn down. Good. Why should we
Well, in
have statues
fairness,
up?
a lot of people say "fuck you" to America. That's always been a right to America. Like the founding fathers had to put down armed resistance. So.
Yeah, and also we've got to take in the fact that those still were technically different times. Not even just the white Southerners had racist views, although they had usually tend to be more racist views towards blacks. But there were also Northerners who did not particularly like blacks. Maybe they didn't think them as lowly as a lot of white Southerners, but white Northerners were still racist towards blacks. It's not just the white Southerners. Everyone.
You want to know what's
racist.
kind of ironic?
Yeah. What?
If we take the current status of the black community since like the late 80s to present time, then those racist Southerners are pretty right on a few things.
How so?
Well, do I really need to cite
Z, where the fuck are you going with this?
Do I need to cite statistics?
Oh. Jeez.
I mean, you gotta remember.
No. That was a result of them still being Democrats.
Yes, but my basic point is, the 60s and early 70s, you have a lot more black people who are in stable households, who have a business, who are employed. Basically no difference. And then comes the late 80s and then the 90s disaster and Biden's, what was it? Crime bill? Was it called? The one that really exploded a few things. And then you got the stereotype that a certain black person may imagine. No, fuck. That the southern races may imagine of a black person, and you look at Detroit now and kind of looks
I
like
kind of get what you're saying, but have you ever read the? It's a really fantastic book, but it's called White Liberals and Black Southerners, and essentially the book is explaining essentially what the South was like a lot back then. Like 20 guys once shot each other because they fought over a pig. Another thing is a lot of the sort of gang mentality, such as the Ku Klux Klan, they were lynching other white people before, it was more racially motivated. But effectively, what the book explains and simplifies in general, a lot of what the blacks are experiencing now is essentially Southern culture. It's essentially what the white Southerners used to be like. There was a lot of violence, a lot of crime, a lot of illiteracy, a lot of tribalism. And so essentially, it's what they were living like 100 years ago, the white Southerners, and it's just inherited by the black population. And the thing is, why they won't ever get out of it is, well, democratic economics, and by God, they won't measure them to the same extent as any other human being.
Well, I wouldn't even say necessarily that so much as to the fact that there's the large, as you were pretty much saying, is the gang culture within black communities. That is a huge problem with them. I think that is one of the biggest things that's holding them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. When you look at like some of the stereotypical shit that the racist Southerner was saying, fast forward to 20 years, and the explosion of gang culture in the late 80s to early 90s, and the LA riots did not help with that.
Well, yeah, because there was the problem, because then again, the black community got its own racial identitarians who pushed for that, in a sense. They pushed
Black
for
Panthers.
Yes, the Black
Although
Panthers.
what happened to Rodney King was, I mean, without a doubt, horrible.
Yeah, it's called police brutality. Everyone receives it.
I mean, but how often do you see like 6 officers ganging up on one person, kicking him on the ground? That does seem a little racially motivated.
Well, you also gotta remember. First off, this is the time when people are starting to carry around cameras, so it's much easier to record stuff like this. So we don't really know how much had happened beforehand.
So
Second of all,
yeah.
If you take a white junkie who did the same things that, what was the guy's name again? I don't remember it.
Are you talking about recently?
No, the guy. We're talking about the video that sparked the LA riot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the guy's name? The black guy who was beaten up?
Rodney King.
What?
Rodney King.
Yeah. If you take a white junkie who did the same thing as Rodney King, I could bet you that all 6 of them will also be beating down the white junkie. Doesn't matter if you're fucking pissed off and your friends are going to join in. Still police brutality, but it's still going to happen.
But anyways, there are problems, but let's continue on with the video.
There are problems.
People
Let's
that
continue.
lost the Confederate War. Last I checked, I thought trophies are only for winners, not losers.
It's not about trophies. The statues aren't trophies. They're just honoring those figures.
Oh, well, this is going to sound really fucked up, but so were the Jews losers because they erected statues remembering the Holocaust?
No,
Oh,
that's
God.
a very valid point.
Well, you get my
mean,
point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hunter's just being very single-minded.
Because it's Hunter Avalon. He may have more
I
brain
know,
cells.
like,
He may have more brain cells than
He
Bosch, but
he
they're
just
all
has a
focused
very-
in his penis.
He just has a very one-dimensional thing of just looking at reality.
yeah.
I like when I talked to I had a discussion with history, and he had a friend who, and let's just put it simplistically, was very SJW like. Like the whole mentality of why being proud of a country you didn't choose to be born in. And a couple other discussions such as toxic male masculinity, which we had a very long, intelligent conversation, which we went in just went in having honest discussion. And it lasted about 2 or 3 hours. And it could be done, and he was far more intelligent than Hunter fucking Avalon would have been in his entire life. And then partially, and we agreed on a lot of stuff, because impartially we didn't want to go destroy each other. We didn't want to kick each other's ass.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a goofy-ass cartoon perspective of each other. So, and he's like the apex. So I think maybe impartially why he does this is, well, say simplistic shit to appeal to a simplistic audience. And that he doesn't have to do a whole lot of research or soul searching or thinking if he just says what's literally going on in his mind. This doesn't look scripted, you know?
And then
Maybe it was scripted.
what was I going to say? Oh, and the other thing we do have to bring up is that these were our own these were Americans, and they were American generals. Even if they were considered, even if they were technically traitors, these still were Americans, and they did serve. Now I disagree with it, but they did serve what they thought was right during that time, and it was a very controversial thing during that time. So we can't judge it on our modern day views and everything.
Well, that is the historical mistake, because one of the more interesting historical mistakes that I find that's happening as we speak, in terms of a field that's not related to politics, is actually the lovers issue in archaeology. And the lovers issue is, as we find old grave sites, there are quite a lot of graves that have two bodies in them. Typically holding hands or something like that. And oftentimes when this happens, the people discovering it either quickly report it as lovers or so on, and it resulted in a whole bunch of controversies because a bunch of the graves have been shown to have two males in the packet. So of course then you got Tumblr involved in this shit, and that's not me making a joke. There is an official study out there complaining about Tumblr's involvement in screwing up in the archaeology field. So that's how influential Tumblr is, apparently. But basically the whole focus was, now we know that actually these were not lovers. The two people in the graves are relatives, or people who have died together. For example, one thing that was shown through other studies with the Romans, I think it was two brothers who their unit recognized them as being very close to each other, both die in the same battle. They're both put in the same grave together. Or certain other things, like father and son are put in the grave together, mother and daughter, and so on.
So Tumblr would just call it incest.
No, they still try to claim that it was a gay relationship, because it's Tumblr.
Yeah, like just the insane amount of hubris.
Or who knows, maybe it could have been a gay incestuous relationship.
I mean,
even the Romans have standards.
Like, certainly.
Yeah, but this was... First off, this was the Romans, and second off, the other famous grave that suffered this issue is in Iraq. A little bit more difficult.
Yeah, that would definitely piss off the locals.
Anyways, but yeah, that was the basic point of an example not related to politics, of where we push our modern values when now we know it's not. Also, I just wanted to complain about Tumblr.
Three things. When people, I think, are the biggest mistakes when people try to judge or look at back in history. A, they judge it from their 21st modern perspective of their hindsight, rather than the hindsight that people were living in at the time. And, well, B, they just don't consider technologically and socially the people. Again, I know this technically falls in part one, but they take for granted a lot of 21st century luxuries that these people don't have.
Oh, you mean the people who don't need to worry about dying of dysentery may have a problem understanding people who could easily die of dysentery with no issue whatsoever?
Yeah. And the thing is, you also need to be really objective and rational. You can't be hyper emotional. And part, well, technically 3 and 4, is that everybody kind of fucking sucks in the past. You won't find too many good guys, you know, regardless of where the fuck you're from.
Okay. And also, Roy, that is in fact a bit fucking morbid.
Read
a
it
bit
for
morbid,
here.
but they could have been in the same grave because they were thrown off the same building.
I mean, Save time, save space.
No, if you want to do that, you gotta look at the traditional Jewish cemetery.
Oh, jeez.
How?
Hey, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but it's not my fault that the Jewish cemetery, the bodies are buried at a shorter, at an ever lower, shorter, higher level, however you would say it. You start at 6 feet, and the body winds up being at the end at 2 feet.
Anyways, let's continue.
Here are some facts about Lee that remind us why his statue should remain.
All right, let's find out. Why should it stay up?
Robert E. Lee was connected to George Washington through his father, Light Horse Harry Lee,
Okay.
Washington's cavalry commander, and his wife, Martha Washington's great-granddaughter. Lee's home at Arlington House was just 10 miles from Washington's Mount Vernon.
Wait, that's their reasoning? So Robert E. Lee's statue should stay up because he lived. Okay. Well, there's the first reason, guys. We should definitely. Hold on.
Well, he had
This is
more
a good
to
comment
say.
here. Lefty guitarist.
Yeah, and the point is, he has connections to the Washington family.
Yes.
I was about to mention someone, but I forgot their name. Who was someone that the lefties wanted commemorated because it was literally that situation of he's a friend of a friend of a friend, and then connected to someone who's not really important.
I don't know.
There was someone recent like that.
I
Anyways,
can't
let's
keep
continue.
track of all their stupid stuff.
I love
Well,
your
you
videos,
gotta
but I also
remember
support
most of the characters that they want to be made historical figures are black, and what's the statistic? One dies every 20 minutes. So, God,
Jeez.
I couldn't.
Okay, Z,
Det-
we need
Detroit.
to have a talk.
Detroit and Chicago are still a thing.
To the
Preservation. I know
gulag.
you don't like racism.
Yep.
But I agree we need to
There we go.
remember our history no matter how awful that history is. Yeah, but we can do that without having a statue that was originally erected as a fuck you to America. Like, we can remember our history
Travel on Europe,
by
fuck you to
A,
America.
putting the statue in a museum,
He-
and B,
yes, he
the
is.
statue was originally put up as a form of this
After
matter.
30 years of military service,
Why
Lee
does he have a
led
sword
US
behind him?
Marines to crush the attempted
I have no
slave
idea.
rebellion by radical abolitionist John Brown.
No, this can't be real. This has to be a joke.
What?
Wait.
I missed it. What
Wait.
did Prager you say?
Well, he put down the rebellion by abolitionist John Brown.
Oh. Yeah, with John Brown, he was an interesting fellow. There's a series, I think, on Hulu. If you want to read and learn more about his wife, but John Brown, I do like him. I do support him, but he could have cut off less people's heads. You know.
There's also the fact that he took over a U.S. Government gun, gun.
Yes, but there
You mean
were
a fort?
Yes.
sort
You
of
mean an
defense-
armory?
Yes, a gun armory.
In sort of defense, but in John Brown, he was hunted several times, and in his mindset, he did feel that the state was out to kill him. He lost many of his family, and because that place was sort of an early battleground, a precursor to the Civil War, and so a lot of people were kind of discount fighting each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was more in rebellion of the state that wanted him dead that he went and seized the armory, and also wanted to free the population.
Mm-hmm.
Which maybe it wasn't productive at the time, but his death later did encourage more people to rally against the cause. The song "Glory, Glory, Hallelujah" was originally John Brown's body is rolling in the grave, and his glory goes marching on. Which he is a very important figure in America. Actually, somebody controversial that no one did mention from earlier. But he was like a hardcore. Well, he was severely Christian, but like religion was one of the main reasons he was doing this, which is partially why I don't think he's too popular in a lot of leftist atheist circles.
Mm-hmm.
He's an interesting fella. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah,
Well, I
I think
literally have no idea who he is, so I can't.
he was an ass kicker.
he was an abolitionist. He raided a federal government armory in which he was planning to arm his rebellion to free slaves and everything.
Effectively, effectively. Go ahead.
Wasn't the catch that like not many slaves wanted to join?
Well, they wanted to get the fuck out. They didn't want to die in the fighting, and so a lot of them just sort of left.
Mhm.
Yeah, it feels like he didn't really think this through.
Well, I
Well,
think
he was kicking a lot of ass. Like he probably killed somewhere between 20 or 30 people before the seizing of the armory. They deserved it.
Oh
Most of them
boy,
did.
I'm not reading that one out loud.
I'm just gonna have to say truth. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. But anyways,
Why?
let's go on with the video.
I mean, if I have to cite an ancient law or something of the past, which I moderately agreed with, was in Scotland, long ago. If you were convicted guilty of murder of someone, the person who was convicted guilty of murder was given as a slave to the family of the person that they murdered. That's the only case that I could see justified, but even that doesn't work in the modern era. You're not going to keep someone who just...
neither does slavery or the political situation of that state at the time.
No, I was about to just make a joke. I don't think you want to have someone in the kitchen who just killed little Jimmy. It's a recipe for extra disaster. But oh boy, I'm not reading that comment out loud. Don't you dare put it up.
I'm reading this comment.
None of us are.
Anyways, let's continue on with the video.
So Robert E. Lee crushed a slave rebellion, and that's why his statue deserves to stay up?
No, they're not saying because he crushed the slave rebellion. It's because they're trying to give historical context as why it's important to keep it up. They're trying to give a fair view, a balanced view of his good things and bad things about him. That was the whole point of the video. It's like, seriously.
Yeah, but it seems like you keep forgetting. This is Hunter Avalon.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't understand nuance.
No, what I just said is that, just as we discussed before the stream started, was the whole thing of we don't even know if he's technically right, center, or liberal, because he just shifts to whatever is convenient for him.
Sure.
Well, like, how much is he doing because out of convenience for his channel, and what is off of political belief? It's a golden question.
I think he is, to be honest, I think he is mostly truthful in his political beliefs. I just think he's just a moron.
That's true. Also, why does he have a sword in the background?
I don't know. Maybe he likes swords. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Maybe.
just look at that fucking wall.
Maybe
it
he's
looks
secretly
off.
gay and he's trying to show that he's gay with a sword.
I don't know. Maybe he couldn't afford a gun, and so he went with a sword.
No, it's a remnant of his right-wing past.
Really?
Notice how all like the Crusader people like their swords and stuff.
Honestly, I want to buy a Crusader helmet. I mean, a Templar helmet. I don't care. I just like it.
Well, I
The
have
Holy
some
Land.
Russian swords. If you're interested, maybe we can swap some gear.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, the little problem is I'm in fucking Germany. There's the Atlantic between us.
Well, maybe we could just eBay this shit to each other or mail it.
No, the mail is kind of screwed for the moment because of Corona still. No, but also, what's off with his wall? Is there like a pattern on it, or is it legitimately filthy?
No, I think it's just I don't know. I think it's a basement or something. Not a basement.
That makes it even worse.
No, it does look like a basement.
Yeah, but that makes it even worse because now you gotta remember, if this is a basement, yeah, he has this good setup down there. Okay. If
Where is
anyone
this
knows
going?
how to quickly grow mold in your computer, this is how you're gonna do it, especially with a wall like that. It's gonna be bad. Anyways, let's
Oh, this
continue
guy,
with this.
this John Brown, calling him a radical abolitionist was actually like a fair assessment because he believed in violence in order to stop slavery. I've unsubscribed, shamed I liked Hunter's videos. Yeah, I'm ashamed too, man. Obviously, if you're siding with Robert E. Lee, then you should fuck off, all right?
Oh, brother.
He probably wouldn't have felt this way again if he just joined the fucking union, which is like literally 90% of his criticisms would have been gone. Which I kind of honestly to God wish he just joined the fucking union so we didn't have to deal with the war in the first place. But Oh well.
And is just I will
Yeah, but
say
you-
yes.
No, I was about to say, but like Outlaw mentioned before, the whole thing back then, the whole concept of the state should be treated more as a country is more of a thing. So, would you go against your country or what?
Yeah, that's pretty much how they felt. And
I mean, I can give another good example, which involves World War II, because that's my expertise. There were a lot of half Germans, or first generation immigrants, if you want to call it that, in the United States who moved back to Germany to fight for Germany.
First one or second one?
Second one.
Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of
But
heard
it was
that,
also
but-
because there were also quite a few discriminatory things still being done towards Germans in the US.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think one of the most infamous things, which was recorded fairly well in Band of Brothers, except the whole thing of killing POWs, was
Yeah.
this whole thing with a captured German unit, and the guy, and one guy from Easy Company, if I remember it correctly, the 501st, found out that basically they lived on the same street in New Jersey. Except, one was defending Germany on Normandy, and the other one was dropping into Normandy to defeat the Germans.
Yeah, which there is a very interesting discussion, and it veers off topic, but there was a lot of people of multiple ethnicities that fought for the Axis. Like there were white people that fought for the Japanese, the Russian unit in Manchukuo. But what I do try to explain to these people is at the time the Axis was just trying to get manpower. And so they temporarily called a lot of them honorary Aryans, or they were on, it's debated if Finland was the extent for which they supported the Axis, but they did help use the Axis because they wanted to be liberated from the Soviet Union.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people out of convenience did sign with the Axis powers.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that. It was also the whole thing against communism. There's also that factor you got to remember. Like, there's an interesting story that's in the Overloon Museum in the Netherlands, because I visited over there, where basically they have this whole single program around one of the most infamous guys because he wound up joining the SS. And the reason why he became infamous, because it's not really recorded if he did any war crimes or anything, and he always denied that he did, but that's not the point. The point was he was always asked if he regretted it, and he always said no. And as the final interview with him, which the museum did, and unfortunately he passed away, he pointed out that he doesn't regret his decision because no matter how bad the Nazis were, he deemed the Soviets much worse.
Mm.
And he knew that without a war against Stalin, Russia would come for the rest of Europe, which he did want to do in general.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, let's continue on and try to finish this video because we've been going on it for a while.
Yeah, but that's because we're talking more about historical politics.
Well, let's just try to talk when he's talking and see how well that goes.
It won't go well.
Been
Oh, let's
raped by
give it a
their
try.
masters.
including John Brown, who was tried and hanged for treason.
Lame.
Lee deemed slavery a moral and political evil in any country, but
Okay.
considered it a greater evil to the white man than to the black race, since blacks are immeasurably better off here than in Africa.
Which is technically true.
Still true.
Well, it's even more true now.
No, it's still true now, because even back then you got 1860s. Yeah, that would be the Civil War era.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there's still slavery in Africa.
There's also cannibalism
Zimbabwe
in
has-
Africa.
Wait, what?
Cannibalism is also a big issue in North Africa. One thing
I
that
mean-
the Libyan government really hates are ones who come from Central Africa, because they tend to try to chop up people. And the number of recorded cases where a group of a certain kind of African immigrant wound up killing someone and chopping them up and keeping parts of their bodies in the refrigerator is still a frequent problem in countries like Italy.
Plus,
There's
there's
been at
also
least- There's
Yeah.
been at least 2 cases in my birth city alone.
Plus, they never were able to get away from the racism because the racism just moved to them. The blacks who left once they were freed, who moved to Africa, they just brought racism again with them because the blacks with lighter skin were treated better.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody know of the country of Libya, the American puppet state that we sort of created? Because in
Yeah,
theory,
I just mentioned.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Obama.
Yeah.
well,
Mhm.
I remember what was Gaddafi's last words before Obama ordered and brought in NATO to bomb the whole thing and get rid of him and then give power to the Islamic radicals. He warned that if you get rid of me, Europe will be flooded with Africans. Well, I'm here now and I missed the man. He was
Surprise.
shit, but surprise, I want him back.
well,
Give us
it
back
might have not
Gaddafi.
been, but it might have not been Libya, but it was a country that we helped create it and we abandoned it, and a very
Africa?
interesting. Well, a country that we created in Africa. I forget the name of it.
South Africa would be the one that I.
Well, no,
that
but
comes
that
to
would be
mind.
Britain. That would be Britain. I'm talking about America. And so a lot of blacks moved over there. And so what they did was that they enslaved the local black population, just like their white Southerners.
Hmm.
Anyways,
That's
let's finish this video. So we're getting really off track.
Okay, I will just end it with the final term. I remembered, I think this was a Kenyan Twitter account that left a comment on Black Lives Matter official Twitter account. Something that they had posted about black culture in the US, of how it should be more represented or something like that. Or the white men be something along the lines of black culture and white people racist things. And this Kenyan man gave the comment of, y'all cry racism when we sold y'all for gunpowder. Or something like that. Anyways. Unchained says Liberia. Puts up.
Ah,
Liberia.
about
is an ethnic
Liberia?
state.
Liberia. That's the state I'm thinking of.
Oh, do you mean you were saying a puppet state?
Yeah.
Although it did become its own state, so.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah. Liberia was also. It holds the Guinness World Record for one of the most fraudulent elections in history.
Anyways, let's continue.
Oh no! Guys, Robert E. Lee wasn't that bad. I mean, he said slavery was bad. He just thought that blacks were better in America under slavery, where they were being beaten and raped by their masters.
Yeah, then they could just be beaten and raped by their masters in Africa.
Yeah, except this time where you could, at least in the Western world, receive some form of medical care. Over there, you'll probably live for dead and be eaten by something else.
And plus, they didn't want you to die here in the America because you were an investment.
Yeah, I was about to make that comment. Because that's the one thing I never understood, that because liberals do try to portray the whole thing that black slaves were killed en masse, even though it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because they were expensive.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go down the twisted route and just acknowledge that they were property, because historically speaking, they were, unfortunately. But it's like your tractor getting a flat tire, and instead of repairing the flat tire, you just destroy the tractor.
Mm-hmm.
Something akin to that. No, not really.
Yeah.
And whatever, let's continue.
Separated from their families than they were in Africa. This isn't an argument.
They were separated from their families in Africa. So. Plus, just life there was a better quality of life in the United States compared to Africa. Especially more so now today than it was then.
Just if they would be worse off somewhere else, which I don't even fucking know if that's true. Why is it better then to live in America than in Africa?
Because of quality of life.
oh, really? I mean, you want to know what's one of the best stories from South Africa? You know,
What?
the civilized part of Africa, if you want to call it that.
Go on.
It was a Karen story that was told from there. And basically, in certain parts of South Africa, in the towns,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot walk at night.
Hmm.
You want to know why you cannot walk at night? There is no curfew. There is no legal thing keeping you at home at night in those certain parts in South Africa. It's because if you go out at night, a fucking predator will come after you and eat you. And if you're particularly unlucky, a hippopotamus will kill you on land. Because they come out of water at night times. That doesn't happen in the US, last I checked.
Hmm.
Unless maybe in Pennsylvania.
And demon.
When you first
always
said
rests
predator,
the
I was
plot.
thinking the other kind of predator.
Well, I mean, that's
Harvey
true too.
Weinstein
South
has an
Africa.
no, wait, not Harvey Weinstein. Jeffrey Epstein has his own island, and it's nowhere close to the Africas.
Okay, let's go on.
Why? People in chat really be triggered by slave abolition. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a controversial opinion nowadays.
No, that's not what they're saying. What I find really stupid is they look at this video as saying PragerU's defending slavery or stuff like that, when the fact that PragerU, some years prior, made a video saying that not defending slavery and saying that was the main reason why the states, the Confederate States, wanted to leave. It's like, let's just go on.
Opposing secession, Lee foresaw no greater calamity for the country than a dissolution of the Union. But when Virginia seceded in a close vote, Lee
All right,
resigned
guys, I'm
from
going to be
Virginia
gone for a couple
despite
minutes. I'll
offers
see you.
All right, we'll see you in a sec.
to command Union forces. Lee opted to organize the defense of his native state.
So? Yeah, so, like he was a traitor to America. None of these are good.
Because he was more loyal to his state, which, quite frankly, I think we need more loyalty to our states.
So, will you be more loyal to your state in this current situation?
If it goes communist fully and I can't do shit, then I would leave, because at that point there's nothing I can do.
I hear Idaho's pretty nice. Just saying.
Idaho,
Jesus.
Idaho. I have to say that by reflex.
Anyways, let's continue.
Good reasons for why this statue should be staying up. We don't have to erect statues to remember our history, bro.
After 4 years as
Yes, we do,
Confederate-
unfortunately. Because of people like you,
Yeah.
the
commander,
smooth brains.
Mm-hmm.
He became an icon of reconciliation
That's a lie.
upon his surrender.
No, he
As
didn't.
president of Virginia's Washington College, he favored education for freed slaves but opposed their right to vote.
Guys, yo, you hear that, friends? Come on, Robert E. Lee, dude. Come on, why we should have this guy's statue up, man?
This is literally most of Americans during that time.
I mean, even Abraham Lincoln opposed to give them the right to vote or to basically make them equal citizens because he realized that that would be too dangerous even for the time period.
This is just the left in general. Like, they're upset that the person is a product of their time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like, people look over Lincoln's problems all the time, like arresting people without warrants or even breaking the Constitution a couple times.
Anyways, let's continue. We were almost done with the video.
I mean, look at this. He was in favor of educating black people. He's a progressive. I mean,
Well,
he didn't
for his
think that they
time,
could
he
vote.
was. What he believed in was very controversial for that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I read about this, and we'll go into it in a little while.
Lee died from a stroke in
Good.
1870.
Good.
Buried beneath Lee Chapel in what's now
Oh wait, whoa.
Washington and Lee.
We have Washington and Lee University. We also had a place called Lee Chapel. So why do we need the statues? It sounds like we're going above and beyond to remember this piece of shit. Like, is this really
Okay,
what
Hunter
PragerU's
Avalon, I
trying to do now?
propose a
is
question. Then should we rename or tear down the bridge that Hillary Clinton had renamed to her dead friend, who was the Grand Duke of the KKK and is still up, along with the 6 or 7 buildings that she also pushed to have named after him?
To be fair, I think he probably would say that.
I have my doubts.
Anyways, let's continue.
Simping for Robert E. Lee, telling us that his statue should stay up because he thought that black people should learn stuff.
University. His legendary
I mean, it's
warhorse
better than
Traveler
what most people
rests
wanted
in
to
a
do.
park nearby.
Wasn't there like a whole real life
Prager,
plan
you
to get
really
rid
up
of
here
the free
simping for Robert
slaves
E. Lee.
to like Mexico or
Jeez.
Canada?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up something on Robert E. Lee history here. He endorsed education for freed slaves, but he said he doubted blacks were as capable of acquiring knowledge.
Everyone thought that.
Yeah.
Literally everyone at that time thought that.
Yeah, fast forward to 1923 when the United States Army would do a test and they would find they would deem that black people are inadequate or do not hold the mental capacity to be pilots.
Yeah, this is a thing a lot of people seem to not realize, that a lot of abolitionists were still racist.
Mhm.
They wanted to free the slaves, but that doesn't mean they thought of them as equals. And
Yeah, fuck off. We do not want to pay you anymore. Actually, that would be an interesting movement. What if, hear my crazy coked out conspiracy theory right now. What if the whole plan to start the Civil War and, free the slaves was some elaborate plan of insurance fraud? It's happened before. I mean, there are several shipwrecks right now that killed a bunch of people that were literal insurance fraud attempts.
Anyways, but I think we've watched enough of the videos. What do you think? Any other final comments anyone wants to say? Or anyone in the chat?
Bring back this out.
well,
You said any comments.
bringing back to when we're talking about states as like countries, to reinforce Robert E. Lee's reason for fighting, I found an interview with a Confederate soldier, General Howell. I can share it in the Discord. You might find it interesting.
Oh, is it the interview in like the 1947?
47.
Yeah.
And it,
The guy-
it reinforces that like a lot of these people fought because they saw it because of cultural identity. It, for many, it didn't have to do with slavery. Surprise, because like it was 1% or less than 1% owned slaves to begin with.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think... Hold on, what did Roy said? We deserve. Well, we watched most of it. It was pretty much just wasn't much left, I think, to really cover that he would say. I think we covered most of the important parts.
Yeah, and look at that. We nearly made it through the whole video, and we only lost one man. We lost 25% of our forces, which are decent odds.
Anyways, I think we can start playing a game if everyone wants to. Anyone else have any other final comments they want to say? No? Alright, then let's get
Not
started.
really. What game did we play then?
We are going to play... Where was it? Unfortunate Spaceman. Hold on, we got one comment here.
Did you hear about the 90-year-old World War II veteran that is transitioning into a woman? I did not hear that.
Nope, I did not hear that.
No.
Also, it's British.
He did say British.
No, I said British.
Huh?
What are we arguing?
I'm just trying to argue that the British aren't fully there.
Okay. Anyways, we have this comment.
What is it? Hinner looks like a lesbian and act like a female?
Who's Hinner?
Exactly.
Are you trying to say Hunter Avalon?
I mean, that's my guess.
Maybe. Anyways, let's bring it up. Everyone bring up their unfortunate spaceman so we can get it ready when Putza arrives.
Yeah, just a moment. I'm trying to see, but I literally find no info on this. I'm actually finding something rather interesting, which is a 99-year-old World War II vet in Britain who recently, first off, beat the coronavirus, got the virus, beat it, so impressive for his health, but also ran a whole campaign to raise $22 million for British health services. And unlike in the US, they actually need that money because the NHS is fucked. Oh god, Hunter Avalon was not bullied enough as a child.
Well, given the way he behaves, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the bully.
A short one. Anyways, I gotta do something quickly. I gotta pick up the beef jerky that's in the dehydrator. So I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Alright. Let's see. I'm going to start screen sharing the screen. Alright, there we go.
I need to turn off the music so I can hear everyone. Although it's pretty badass, I will admit.
Let me see if I can turn the music down just a little bit. There we go. All right. The NHS should be abolished. Well, I mean, I would agree, but I'm not British, so it's up to the British.
I think it would take a lot to convince the majority to do away with it, but it does seem like the getting rid of the TV license has picked up steam. Because, number one, the media is heavily biased against right-wingers, and number two, it's like, with the internet and stuff, like, a lot of people don't want to pay the license, and it seems like more people aren't paying it.
He also acts a lot like Vosh. I'm assuming you're talking about Hunter Avalon, so... yeah, I guess. Yeah, he does. I mean, I think that's pretty much all leftists.
I will say he has one advantage against Vosh.
What's that?
He hasn't defended pedophilia.
That is true.
Because Vosh said under socialism, it would be okay. Because there would be less power dynamics or whatever.
Oh, jeez.
And it is scary how many fans Vosh has. But then again, Antifa has a big problem with child predators, so I'm not surprised.
Well, the left, the extreme left in general has a problem with child predators.
But they will attack you for having a lolly avatar.
Yes, that is true. And you'll get... yeah?
The mental gymnastics are just insane.
Yeah. Especially when you get a literal pedophiles calling you a pedophile for if someone has a lolly avatar or anything like that.
I don't get people.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on the game.
I wonder... Let me see if I can set up a thing for us. Customization.
There's a potato mode.
What is this?
I'm back.
Oh, they got the black and brown stripes. Yuck.
Well, it's free, and you don't need to put it
Where's the U.S. flag?
right over there.
Is it this one?
No, underneath India.
Damn it. Hold on.
Top, right above you. Top.
No, I'm trying to get out of this.
I know. Look at the top, middle top.
Here? Yeah.
The row with India. Go below it.
Oh,
India.
jeez.
India.
That's India, yeah, but that's Japan.
No, India is the one on the other side.
Oh,
Third column.
Uh,
Do you see the one with the blue wheel?
the blue wheel.
so I'm looking at the nameplates for spacemen, and they have a bunch of
Go to the right column. There is left, middle, right.
Oh, there it is.
That one is India. Now go down. That's Italy.
Oh, there's
I
the
think
U.S.
it's
But I
right.
have to
There
buy
it
it, it
is.
looks like. Let's just go with, red. So we can choose our guns.
Do you see the horrible flags up top?
Hmm. I don't know what this is for.
That you change color, red, yellow, so on, I guess.
Why a werewolf skin? That seems weird. Interesting. Actually, let's change the color. Oh, you have to purchase that still? Damn. Maybe later.
Hey, I'm back.
Yay! Alright, so why don't you get on to the game here.
There should be instructions when you play it or give you advice how to do something. I actually did the tutorial.
Anyways, I think we'll just get it started. So, actually, why don't you host a thing for us, since you know it more? Puts up.
All right, well, let me log in and get on this thing.
So, are you gonna make yours very tall, Val?
There's a limit.
I'll just make myself just a little bit taller. Flash color.
All right. I generally play with both controller and mouse, but don't worry about that.
Okay.
God damn it.
What is this? The voice thing?
Yeah. I like the Grizzly voice the most, but you can. I think you can use the keypads, and you can, like, if you don't have a mic, you can just sort of talk to them with basic commands.
Ah.
Yeah. There's the Doom guy and a couple other things.
This
We generally, I think, want to go with the 16 player. I can probably easily join it if it ain't full. And you guys do. My fucking Steam is updating. Are you guys in the same party? Or
I do not know.
God damn it.
Muscular just looks like fat to me too.
I have a skin that makes me see through. I bought the Halloween pass thing that they had.
I'll probably look into that later on. Anyways,
just try to start a group. I guess we can go to custom.
I thought you were doing the group starting it.
It's going to take me a second. I had my computer shut down, so I'm going to have to set it all up.
Okay. Well, let me see. How should I do it? Go to play?
Go to host game.
Here it is. Host custom game.
Yes.
Let's see, where is it? Push to talk, push to talk, push to talk.
Oh, we can
just
set a
do
maximum?
16. Yeah, 16's fine. That's what most people do anyway. Go to create online lobby.
Okay. And create internet lobby.
Yes.
So if those in the chat, if you guys want to, you can join as well. Invite
No, I
friends.
haven't.
Yes.
I'll send one to UZ. Is there a way I can show you guys a link, or do I have to send everyone an invite? Is that UZ? The orange guy?
Yeah, that's him.
No, the green one is me.
Green
The
one.
orange one is you. I
Orange
guess.
one isn't me. I'm red.
Oh.
Anyways,
How do I join the lobby?
I'm trying to figure out how do you do that. Do you know, Putza?
Well, I haven't invited anybody yet.
No, I was
Well-
trying to invite someone with a lobby and everything.
Well, I guess they would have to send you your Steam account or like Steam name, or like username, and then you can look up players maybe via through that.
Echo, what's your Steam name so I can try to friend you?
It's same as it is on StreamYard.
Yeah.
So, Neko Boy?
Yep,
Okay.
should
where
be a
do I
similar
go to?
avatar.
Friend chats? Do I try to find it there?
No.
Where should I go to find his Steam?
No, he's in, I think.
Oh, are you?
This is gonna be forever. What is your name again?
Okay, where do I go to add someone to the friends chats on Steam? Because I don't remember.
You
Here we
don't
are. There it is. I think I found it. Add a friend. Okay. Can I just search by their name? Okay, so it's just Neko Boy?
Yeah,
Neko Boy, 2 words or 1 word?
2 words.
Here we are. You have the little anime girl, right?
Yeah.
Russian Federation? Why do you say Russian
Russian?
Federation?
No.
There's multiple accounts over here. I mean,
Oh, yeah. There's multiple.
It'll say America.
found him.
Emo Neko Boy?
No, it's
Nope,
just Neko Boy, America.
No,
Okay,
I
you got
found
another
one
Neko
with.
Boy that's 2 words. Oh, there it is. There's your profile. I found you.
It just says Neko Boy. It's your older profile.
I think I sent it to the right one. Did you get it?
I've also sent one, but it also says you're offline.
Okay, that's even weirder.
No, that typically means that your Steam services are off. Just quickly click onto the friends section of Steam and just retry for connection if it's...
Anyways, is anyone in the chat sending their names if they're wanting to join? Can you guys check?
I'm gonna see if I can just. I'm on now. I'm gonna see if I can just actually find you guys. You should be in a custom.
And there we go.
Well, anyways,
And I'm only
gonna
gonna
add
have
you,
time
Putza.
for one
What's
game.
yours? Yeah? What?
I was saying I'm only gonna have time for one game.
Aww.
Well, it took so long to set up.
Anyways, what's yours, Putza?
It's TK47.
TK4. That's your name?
Yeah, well, that's the name I normally use. If not, just try Putzmaster1.
TK47. And what does
There's
your
a
profile
bunch
look
of
like?
They should be one of. It should have Joseph from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure on it.
Elaborate.
You're TK47, you said?
Yes. Yes.
Jojo wouldn't by any chance look like someone with a similar hat to Indiana Jones.
Yes, that's me.
That also says Zach underneath it.
Yes.
Okay, I pressed add to you as a friend.
I just got a friend request.
I also sent one.
God damn it.
Okay, I'm gonna check this stream. I am not a boomer.
Except with technology.
Yes, I am shit with technology. I get that.
Oh, first the boomer comment. I have to read the whole thing.
What's the name of your server?
Yes.
I have no fucking clue.
I can just send an invite to you if...
Just send an invite.
I did.
Did you friend me anyways? No, you didn't friend
You
me.
didn't accept our friend thing. Actually, I can't send it until you accept our friend request.
Yeah.
What's that?
Give me a moment. Yeah, give me a second.
Are we interested in a vampire masquerade? I'm not exactly sure what that's supposed to mean.
I'm not too sure. Is that a Van Helsing reference? Because that would be kind of funny.
No, it's a game I play.
Because in Van Helsing there is a vampire masquerade in it.
It's a game. Give me a second.
Pedro, I'm horrible with technology too. Yeah, don't try to make Outlaw feel comfortable. We need to shame him for this.
Hey, I'm at least in some ways better than my nieces, who are Zoomers.
Yeah, but they're also girls. You can't expect them to know what video games are to begin with.
Quite frankly, my niece didn't know she could turn off a certain feature on her phone with.
Who's this pouch person?
I have no
I do
fucking
not know.
clue.
Well, they're probably gonna leave because they want to play.
Also, why does it say 111 for all of us?
Because we're all level 1, because we're noobs.
Oh, there it is. Now I can send you an invite. There you go, Putza. Are you going to join, Putza?
Yeah, man, we can't keep teasing Putze. He is running the best he can on his potato.
Okay, he says it's a. Pedro says it's a tabletop RPG. I've never heard of it. What about you, Val? There he is. All right, let's get started.
Butcher, click ready.
Now, can I use a remote control for this?
I mean, you should have set it up sooner.
Yes, I was about to say this is shit you're supposed to set up from before.
It doesn't automatically just set up with, default settings?
No.
No, this hasn't. This has happened with literally every game we have tried to play together.
No,
Outlaw.
other games I have, they just have a default setting for it. Whatever.
I'm about to use the Lord's name in vain. And that's not. And you're not supposed to do that as a Jew.
I'm yellow? Damn, why can't I be red?
I gotta do something.
Yeah, you get tasks in this game as well.
I know, but I'm all alone. I'm actually kind of scared. So I get out of here.
Okay, now how do I open the map?
Ooh. It's all choppy.
Okay, yeah, I got gotten.
Mine is actually working quite well, although I will do some.
How do you do tasks in this? Do you know, Putza? Power outage? If I can even figure out how to do this.
I'm genuinely fucking scared. I'm in a hallway. I do not know where I am. Oh god, I'm out in space. Fuck no, I'm not getting knocked out in space. I'm asphalt?
How do you do this? Press E. There we go.
In the lunchroom.
Okay, I'm gonna go to one of the other power stations. Is it below me? How do I get down? Is there an elevator?
Supposed to fix something in communications. I'm making. Why the fuck am I alone? Oh, I see someone.
It might be the monster, so be careful. What color is everyone else?
I'm asphalt color.
Asphalt? So, kind of gray?
Agree.
Oh, telecommunications is down.
Yeah, I'm about to fix it. I just need to replenish my air.
Halted for 16 okay, so I can't fix it right now.
Halted 7 seconds. I'm going to the nearest spot I can for air,
Okay.
otherwise.
Why is everyone else being so quiet? Where do I take this?
Who is this?
Who's who?
Okay, I think I'm.
Where do I fucking take? Oh, I take it this way?
Oh, that's me.
Where do I take this? Okay, what the? Are you firing? Ah! Monster! Monster back! Fuck, I'm dead. Can I still do tasks? Okay, who the fuck killed me? I'm gonna have to watch a tutorial how to play this game.
Yeah. I got no clue. I got no clue what the hell is going on.
You have to vote.
I voted. No one. I literally have no idea.
I can't even vote.
You're dead.
I should have a right to vote. The dead should
You're-
be able to vote.
You
Like
ain't a
in the
Democrat.
2020 election.
You ain't a Democrat. Wait a second, who is who?
Well, I was yellow.
Yeah, I already got that. But who is who? I'm Asphalt. Okay. Then who is Vanilla?
Mm.
Oh. Wait, what did you say? I'm
Who
out of
said-
here.
What?
Oh god, he just...
Are you dead?
Oh fuck, he is!
Where are you, Val?
I'm dead. We found out who the monster is.
Well, not
The hard
necessarily.
way.
Not necessarily, because the monster can change colors.
Yeah, but currently he's a monster and he can... You are dead. As a ghost, you can still complete certain
can?
tasks.
I thought you
It
couldn't.
says so right over there.
Okay, how do I do it then?
I don't know, it says certain tasks. I don't even know what my tasks are to begin with.
Did you just mute me?
No?
Huh. I don't know. Neko, are you still alive? No, Neko's gone.
Yeah.
Did he leave?
But the thing was, I just went out the door. And he instantly pulled a gun as he said, I'm out of here. He just sent a quick message of, I'm out of here.
Wait, Neko left?
No, I'm dead.
Oh. Wait, you're dead? Oh, we've all been killed.
Yeah, it was a small party, so and I was the only one who sort of knew what he was doing. So,
All right, so vote to skip. Vote to skip what?
Countdown.
well, the longer we play, since we did a custom game, there'll be more people joining in.
All right.
Well, now I need to get going.
Aww. So you're gonna leave, Neko?
Yes, hey, I gotta go.
All right. Well, I think we'll play this again another time because I'm gonna need to figure out how to play this.
Yeah, hopefully we can get set up better.
So all of us,
faster.
that's gonna be our homework for the week is figuring out how to play this more.
Just go to the tutorial. It's actually really helpful. There's one as the monster and one as the spaceman.
Hmm. Well, we'll do. So we're gonna end the stream here. Let me first end the screen sharing. Oh, I didn't even know I still had this comment up. Well, let's go to Pedro's new comment. Judaism post Jesus has a lot of issues, and there are a lot of rules and traditions that don't come from the something and the Torah. Okay, I don't know what we got into philosophy for, but okay. But anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. If you liked the stream, please give it a like, subscribe, share it, comment down below, and tell me what you thought.
Buy from us our merch. I have a couple of things on display and some on a spreadshirt. If you want Castro Yoda or Hungry Santa.
I also have a Castro Yoda.
You stole it from me.
I did not steal it from you. You helped me design it in the first place.
No, you stole it from me.
Anyways, you can check out Z's merch store. Or you can get him to make some models for you. You also can check out Neko's YouTube channel or his Twitter. And of course, you can also commission, or might be able to soon eventually commission, from RedWolphe. He has his own drawings he does. He's very good at it. So I would suggest asking if you can try to get a commission from him. Who knows? We'll see. All those links will be in the description, so you can check that out. And of course, don't forget to follow me on Medium and give each of my articles 50 claps, because you can give up to 50. It's a little weird of a liking system, I know that, but that's how it works. So, and of course, if you really like the content here, please consider donating to my Patreon or to my Ko-fi. Do all
And
this.
if y'all struggle with the concept of giving him 50 claps, just think of it as you're voting for the US election system.
Anyways.
So pretty easy.
Anyways, do all this. Oh, and one other thing I wanted to say is Happy New Year to everyone, since we're now in the new year and this is the first stream of the year.
We're gonna fucking die.
Anyways.
The nuclear agreement contract, whatever the fuck it's called, between Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan ends in February this year.
Anyways, thank you for watching.